this is Chris Higham with Houston Artist Showcase, and today we are having Artist Spotlight with Richard Payne and his lovely wife, Amy. Richard, you are a renowned artist here in the Houston area, but your forte would be architectural photography. Why so?
Well, Chris, I practiced architecture for 10 years. And architecture is an art, of course, but the problem I found with architecture is that the design part, the conceptual design part of designing a building can last 3 weeks, a month. And then the next 2 or 3 years are spent doing the craft of architecture. Photography, on the other hand, is those moments when you have a real chance to do this. Those moments are more often, every day. Being free to photograph what you want, when you want, is a much more open, freer, artistic enterprise, I felt, than architecture was. So that's why I do it.
And obviously you do come from an architectural background, correct?
Yes. I was a licensed architect in 1964. Practiced for 9 or 10 years. Loved it, but found photography more to my personal satisfaction.
And you also do visual painting. What are your influences there?
These pictures are based mostly on architectural subjects. I'm interested in architecture and in the fact that many architects paint and many painters do work dealing with architecture. My hero here in most of these paintings is Le Corbusier. This is a mock-up of his pieces of his paintings. And Amy and I have traveled to France and other places in the study of Corbusier's work. So I paint as sort of a hobby. But it's basically based on the work of Le Corbusier, and then the Bauhaus, which is some of these other pictures are based on the Bauhaus work, which is an architectural exercise in Germany in the 20s before Hitler ran them out. So that's a subject that I enjoy studying.
And you recently had a show at Alliance Française?
We put up a show of 35 photographs made in France, mostly in 1986, when I lived in Paris on a grant from the American Center. So we print those here. Amy and I work together on the printing. And that show was just a review of our study of the work of Eugene Auger, the famous French photographer, which we've studied and visited many of his sites in Paris and found ourselves enjoying following in his footsteps, which is what we did for that show.
And you continue to teach, correct?
Teach. We're going to teach at the Women's Institute here in Houston, and I have some seminars set up with the American Institute of Architects chapters here in Houston, one in New Orleans, and then others are underway in Dallas and San Antonio and Fort Worth, during which I will teach architects how to take pictures of their buildings. It's sponsored by the American Institute of Architects.
Excellent. And Richard, what are your thoughts on Houston Art Showcase?
I don't know much about it, but I'm interested in finding out.
Well, great. Richard, Amy, thank you both very much.
Thank you.